Hello, everybody. It's been a while. I had to sell my soul and work um, in a different area and travel for work. So, anyways, with selling my soul, I was able to build up enough money to buy myself some new toys, and I'm going to talk about them today. Today, one of the big ones I bought was the Sig Sauer P226 slash Mark 25 D-RX. The Mark 25 means it's got that little navy emblem there. And then the D means it's tan, and the RX means it's optics cut. So I bought it with everything except the TLR1. This I took off my M18 and put it onto this. So let's make sure its weapon is clear. So on this side, you got the magazine release. We're going to press the magazine release. We see no ammunition, but that does not mean it's clear. Now we will pull the slide back, locking it to the rear with the slide lock, or holding it to the rear. We will visually and physically inspect that there is no ammunition inside the chamber. Alright, I see no ammunition, and now we can just begin fucking with it. So, I think I've wanted a P226 since I was alive. You know, originally seeing it used in, I don't even know where I saw it. I think it was in something else. Seeing it used in Rainbow Six Siege also made me really enjoy the pistol. And then my uncle, when I was probably around 12, he had one. He had the Mark 25, so it's just the black one. He told me the Navy SEALs use it, which immediately made it the coolest gun in the world. And yeah, I shot it. I loved it, and I wanted to get one of my own. Finally, I have it. So box checked. Now, what do I think about this? I've put around 3 boxes, so 150 rounds down on paper. I love it. Maybe this is a controversial opinion, but I'm getting to a point where all 9mm feel the same. You know, the trigger on this one's exceptionally long if you're doing the double action, and in single action, it's not horrible. However, I'm probably going to put an upgraded trigger in here. I love this gun a lot. I'm going to put some more rounds on it, but I'm having a hard time saying this is the best pistol ever. I'm having a hard time saying this is... I don't know, man. The majority of the 9mm pistols feel the same, and they all feel pretty fantastic. I love this gun to no end because it has a sentimental value, but outside of that, I don't know. It's toss up. Either way, let's get right into it. Takedown and disassembly. We got our, first off, going over features. It has raised sights. I believe that comes standard. Obviously the optic cut on here. I have a Romeo 1, Sig Sauer Romeo 1. Got the standard barrel, standard trigger. Nothing's upgraded. Everything is how it was. I was talking with the owner. This is how he bought it, minus the flashlight. If for those wondering, this is the TLR1HL by Streamlight. I like Streamlight lights. It's not the only one on the market though, so look around, find what you like. Going over buttons, we have the magazine release, we have the decocker, we have a slide catch and slide release, and we have our takedown lever. So that's really it. Beautiful gun, functions great. Takedown, pull it back, pull down, turn the light on. It's not actually that important to turn the light on. Recoil spring, barrel out, and you field stripped it. To take the gun fully apart, you're going to need to take these apart, push some pins out, push the in out from that side, pull this out. There's a few other things you got to do, but for right now, we're kind of just doing a quick cleaning / inspection. I think this is clean, just because he brought it to me. we'll check and see how dirty this got. So when I left, my uncle was using it, so I think he cleaned it, which is not a problem. You know, good, thank you. But just want to make sure it is done right and it is accurately and adequately clean. So I'll begin cleaning it now. All right, so let's get right into cleaning. Kind of start with the barrel. Just quick inspection. Used barrel. There's not really anything crazy about it. I mean, the ramp is used. Now I knew the person who was firing, or the previous owner, and he was a competitive shooter, so there is a chance that, you know, he may have, I don't know, I think that's just from use, but he may have, I don't think so. He may have sanded that down to make it a little bit smoother, but I really doubt it, honestly. There's a decent amount of, there's a little bit of fouling, but not much. It's pretty much a fresh barrel. Now he said somewhere between, I think he said like 600 rounds he had fired, something like that, which isn't horrible. Literally, this is like a brand new gun, honestly. Oh my god. Is this all carbon? It is. Let me get a pick. Ouch. Where the fuck did I put my pick? Here it is. Carbon destroyer. That's a lot of buildup. It's not a lot, but it's a decent amount. See, I don't know. I don't really see the markings that would indicate this has been hit with some kind of tool to get worked down to and polished. But in the same sense, I mean, if it was a good polishing job, you wouldn't know. So we'll find out. I'll just kind of let it be for now. Where is my 9mm brush? Ignore this downtime. We'll set this down right here as we're doing this, just to see if anything's coming out. Now I know I missed a little bit, and I'm seeing some specs, but not really much. Fuck is on here? Oh. Okay. Either way. Now we'll take a fresh one. Right here in the breech, just around circles. See, there we go. Now we're getting some. There we go. Alright. I'm liking how clean this is now. Yeah, anyways, selling my soul. I have gotten to a point where I think I just hate my job. And I think that's everyone. I think I've talked about that now multiple times. But I am, nothing's really changed. I just dislike my job more than I originally hated my job. So, here we are. I'm going to put some CLP, just clean it up, wipe it down a little bit. One thing I'm concerned about, and maybe this was just factory, is the crown looks redone almost. It's weird, but I didn't notice any accuracy differences or deficiencies, so find out. Future plans for this: number 1, buy a suppressor. Number 2, get a nice threaded barrel from Sig, probably, honestly. And just go from there. Okay, we'll leave this, set that over here. And now we'll do, let's kind of wipe down the guide rod. Is this metal? It is. Cool. Only reason I was genuinely surprised about the guide rod is they sell a metallic guide rod, and I don't know if do some SIGs, P226s come with plastic ones. Interesting. Interesting food for thought. And I don't know if I'm gonna upgrade the springs. Kind of want to. Kind of not an issue, so it doesn't really matter. Here we go. Now we got a little bit of carbon buildup again. Drop that right there. Let me see. A lot of this is just coming up, which is good. It means nothing, honestly. Oh, I shouldn't have used the rag I'm oiling stuff with. I'm an idiot. It's fine. We'll just use another rag now. I hate when people use that white fucking grease. It just gets stuck everywhere. It collects everything, too. This is not horrible. I think the last owner had a cat. There's a bunch of hair everywhere. Okay, so that's the trigger bar. Yeah, right there's the trigger bar, at least. Let's see. Anyways, it's March, so shout out to all first responders who have to do research right now. I had to do some research for my certification. What cert do I have? I don't know, maybe I'll accidentally say it one day, but we'll leave it as a surprise for now. But I had to do my research, and I'm so over putting the hours in. Because I technically I'm not really using it anymore with my job. but still, it's nice to have. Like, I'm in a constant conflict where I just want to get rid of it and just let it lapse. But I worked for a very long time to get it, and so I don't use it now. Maybe I'll use it in the future. I don't know. Maybe it's a fallacy. Well, it's not a waste, but it was definitely a drain of money that I had recently to get all the research stuff squared away. It doesn't really cost that much. I'm just happy I don't have to go through everything again. I'll leave some hints, but clinical sucked ass. And it didn't really, but I did it during COVID, so it really sucked, dude. It fucking sucked. COVID made everything suck. Now, the majority of the stuff, clinicals, I did at a few hospitals in my area. So they weren't horrible, but it just sucked because, like, nobody was going into the hospitals at that time. They were scared of getting COVID. So when you did get something, it was either somebody who's been fighting, like, something for months, and the docs were like, yeah, we're going to handle this because this guy's now decompensating. We had a lot of those, like, pneumonia that had been, too scared to come in for months, and now they're just, like, such in a horrible spot that there's nothing, it's just higher level care instantly. There's nothing really you can do. I got a few heat casualties during the summer. Like, real heat casualties, like internal body temperature of 112. That person was a baked potato. Fun fact, yeah, you're not going to survive that at all. And it's just a bad day for everyone involved. In case you were wondering. In case you were like, oh, I wonder how bad it is to get an internal body temperature of 112. Well, it's really bad. Feel for that person, though. It sounded like an accident. I don't believe they were... I think they were homeless, unfortunately. So already had that going against them. But I do believe that they had passed out in their car, and where I lived at that time was such a hot area that they just cooked alive in their car. And I think there was also some other factors going on with that, because there was a chance, I didn't look at their talks. I was just there to intubate and then left. But he definitely had, there was a high chance there was other morbidities such as an overdose and other factors going on, like the dehydration. I don't think that's morbidity so much as just other shit going on. Forgot the word. It was bad, dude. And decorticate posture and then posturate. And he was gone. Remember, the doctor was just like, I asked the doctor in passing, hey, what more would you have wanted, like, done emergency wise, like, from your perspective, what more could have been done? And he said something along the lines of, like, for the dead guy. And it's like, okay, good call. Yeah, probably not much you can do. And I think from then I started having, like, a rough time with working in emergency services, just because, like, it sucked, man. It's nice. It's a nice job. There's definitely a lot of adrenaline in it, but very quickly the adrenaline ceases to be there once you get used to it. And then you start getting anxious. And, like, the anxiety is what kills people. Like, you have a bunch of these new people who will go and ride on the Ambo and being like, this is going to be so much fun. I'm going to be able to do so much cool shit. And then, like, a week in, they're like, I don't know, man. I just watched somebody's grandma get... I just watched somebody's grandma die, and I had to push on their chest for 3 hours. and now I'm mad at them, and I feel so guilty because I'm mad at them. It's like, yeah, no, that's normal. It's annoying. It's not meant to be, you know. Of course, I doubt that person wanted to be inconvenient or feel inconvenient, but dude, it's the reality of it. They died, and you got to work on it. And sometimes you can feel and have those feelings of like, oh man, you're fucking annoying. Why did you die right here? My buddy one time talked about how somebody, he had to work a code, and in the area we were at, the fire department was pretty much just incompetent. They work everything. So even if, you know, unattended death, 3 days, you know, they'll at least get on there and put a monitor on. Like, are you fucking kidding? What are you expecting to see? Nothing? Like, why are we doing this? Fanfare for the fucking family? It's not going to help them. Their loved one is dead. You know? And I think that's a lot of the dark reality that comes with being a part of the emergency medical field. It's unfortunate because a lot of these people really do care, but it's so quick to just be at that point where you don't give a fuck anymore, and you're just trying to. It's a job, you know. It's no longer I'm not changing this person's life. I'm not saving their life. I'm just putting the buttons in and turning it into a robot. I feel like that's why I went up in scope and I went to the next higher level, or the highest level. That's your hint. And from there, I don't know. I felt like it was it. I did it, you know. I felt like I was pretty squared away. And unfortunately, it hasn't really come back. You know, I love it and I like EMS, but I'm still like, if somebody were to call me or need me to help them and I'm not like in a medical capacity, I get annoyed almost. And I didn't like that. I really didn't like the fact that that's how I started to feel about the job. And I think to this day I still am wondering. I know I'm not the only person, but it really, I don't know. I have the internal conflict with it, and I hope if anyone else does, you're not alone, you know. It just gets so quick being such a hard thing to deal with. It can be such a hard job if you let it. If you don't let it, I know a lot of career EMTs who just don't really give a shit and just compartmentalize it and then move on. But, you know, I also know a lot of those people very closely that they go home and there's nights you can't sleep. There's nights that it's just hard for those who have a family like me. There's nights or there's times you're just staring at your kid, and then you think about the one patient you had, and you just kind of stare off at them, thinking about that dead patient or that severely injured patient, thinking about, you know, oh my God, everything has to be different, has to be careful. Now, side note, back on the gun, I didn't really look into oiling / cleaning, greasing, stuff like that. So I'm just oiling. This is kind of what you normally do for any gun, but there is a chance this is not correct. And if it is not correct, and you're screaming at your screen right now, cry. Okay, if you did that and used your magical powers to do that, I want to say, number one, that was pretty cool. Pretty spectacular there. And number two, I deserved it. I know I did. Understood. All right. Last thing before we do a function check, lens cleaner. Okay, this is something I don't usually use often, but because the site I got has just some mess on it, I'm gonna use it and just kind of wipe it off. And to make sure I'm getting in the edges, I'm gonna use a cube. There we go. Alright, it's pretty clean. That glass is now clearer than ever. Alright, good. I'm going to throw a little bit on this too. Alright, now with that, this feels like a very clean gun with very, very nice, clean glass. And we'll do a quick function check. Get rid of this stuff. Okay, first things first. This is double action. Also, since we just loaded it, no ammunition, no ammunition. We're going to load this in. Okay, and now we're going to pull the trigger. Single action. Single action's functionable. Double action. Double action's functionable. Pull that down. Safety decocker decocks the weapon. And that is the standard position for the hammer. Alright. Pulling a slide to the release with an empty magazine. Holds it in place. Pressing down. Works. Magazine drops out. So, we didn't fuck it up. It's clean and to the best of my knowledge will function. So, this weapon's done. Expect some more videos. It's definitely going to take some time. I've been working a lot, picking some extra hours. I'm trying to move. So, yeah. And if you fell asleep to this, wake up.